Brace yourself.
Back here in Green Bay on opening day, Kurt Menefee along with Tim Ryan doing your first game here at Fox. And Tim, you played 5 years with the Chicago Bears, meaning 5 trips into Lambeau Field. Have you ever seen a crowd this quiet?
Well, I haven't. They're sitting on their hands right now here in Lambeau Field, and with all the excitement that we saw about 30 minutes ago, 30 minutes of football, things have changed here. And I think if you're defensively, if you're the Green Bay Packers right now and Ed Donatel, you got to go after Mike Vick. I mean, the story out there is this. They are so afraid that Mike Vick is going to beat him that Mike Vick is beating him. He's a perfect 10 for 10, and he looks outstanding. Well,
that's exactly what has happened. Green Bay did take the lead in this game, 3-0 coming out of the gate, but after that, it was all Michael Vick. Scores on a 2-yard run to give Atlanta a 7-3 lead in the second quarter. And then it was Warrick Dunn taking over after this fumble by Amon Green gave Atlanta the ball in the second quarter. Keon Carpenter recovered, and Dunn took it in from 3 yards out, and Atlanta was up 14-3. But Brett Favre and the Packers came back. However, it wasn't enough as Michael Vick hit Algie Crumpler, and Atlanta goes up 21-10. It is 21-13 right now here at halftime. And the one thing to take out of this first half, besides the great play by Michael Vick, is the difference between these two teams and their celebrations.
Oh, yeah.
You take a look and you see that, yes, the Dirty Bird is back for the Atlanta Falcons, but on the other side, the Packers, well, still a little bit to work on for Davis Martin and the Lambeau lead.
We don't give him a high score there for his Lambeau lead, but second effort, he gets up there a little bit.
And while he messed that up, Algie Crumpler perfecting the Dirty Bird, which, of course, Atlanta popularized back in 1998. What's it going to take for the Packers to try and get more of a Lambeau leap here as we start the second half?
I think a big key for the Green Bay Packers here is to continue with those long drives. They opened up with a long drive, double digits in terms of plays, and probably their best defense right now against Mike Vick is having long drives offensively and keeping Mike Vick, Warrick Dunn, and the rest of that offense over on the sideline.
And keeping converting those third downs.
Yeah, that's big. That's one thing that Green Bay wanted to do coming into this season, was be much better on third down, and they're sitting and doing an outstanding job so far. And they're also running the football good. Of course, they had the big long run by Amon Green.
And the Packers will have first shot at it here in the second half as Jay Feely kicks things off. That'll be a short one taken by Najee Davenport, the 4th round pick out of Miami. Bounces off a runner. Dragged down by Gerald McBurrows at the 40-yard line. During halftime, our Drew Smith had a chance to catch up with the Packer head coach.
Mike Vick obviously having a great day. What kind of adjustments do you need to make here at halftime?
Well, we got to do a better job on second down. We're not getting them into third down situation. I believe we've only put them in third down twice. And but we're going to win on second down. Our first down's not bad. Second down hasn't been very good for us. They're doing a good job executing their screens, taking advantage of a pass rush. But we got a few things in the second half. We make some nice adjustments, and we'll shut it down.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Send it back upstairs.
All right. Well, Sherman was right. Atlanta's only been in 2 third downs all first half.
Not like they haven't had their opportunities to get Mike Vick. They just can't corral him.
Favre on play action on his first play. Wide open, Terry Glenn. Down inside the Atlanta 20. Tackled by Ray Buchanan at the 17, but give him 42 yards.
This is why they brought Terry Glenn over from New England. He's got the ability to get off in man coverage and make something happen. We'll start with him right there. Ray Buchanan's with him all the way. Just runs a deep post and almost dropped that one too. Boy, he's dropped a few balls today, but comes up with a big play. I think Terry Glenn needed that for his confidence here in Green Bay. And I think if this guy stays healthy, if he's able to rejuvenate his career here for the Green Bay Packers, Green Bay will be at least in the top 3 in the league offensively.
But once again, he has to go out after making a play. We've seen him go out once already due to being a little nicked up today. Amon Green. Green with a pickup of 3 yards. Patrick Kearney on the tackle. Well, this first half was a good one for both quarterbacks. The problem for Brett Favre is his numbers will pale in comparison, and you see Amon Green having trouble getting up. He's holding his belly. You see the numbers between the two quarterbacks.
Vick's perfect, that's all.
But Amon Green is not right now, as the medical staff has to come out to try and help him off the field right now.
Rondell Mealy will go in for him, and
took one right in the solar plexus, as we call it.
Is violent and dangerous for young adults and cops.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection.
there you see Amon Green being carted off. He left the game holding his stomach. We'll get an injury report on him. First down for Favre. Rondell Mealy, who replaced Green, comes in and gets it down to the 3-yard line.
Big first down. That's a first down, first and goal for the Green Bay Packers. Rondell Mealy, you got a guy that goes down in Amon Green. You can bring someone in like Rondell Mealy. You don't lose a lot. Brett Favre pump fakes there. Gets rid of the linebacker, and Rondell Mealy out in space there.
Well, partner, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. Amon Green's a big loss for this
no,
Packer
huge
team.
huge loss. But if you got a guy like Rondell Mealy,
you've got someone who can come in and play, but he's not Amon Green.
No, he's not even close to Amon Green. I will stand corrected. Thank you.
First and goal for the Packers. Mealy, wide open hole, easily into the end zone. Touchdown, Packers.
And this is a big hole for Rondell Mealy here in the interior of the offensive line. Rondell lined up there at the tailback to counter, bringing David Martin around, getting some good blocks, and boy, Earl Dotson with a key block in there, getting his guy into the end zone.
Rondell Mealy's first career rushing touchdown. Tore his ACL as a rookie, came back last year and broke his leg. So this is third season, trying to get some significant playing time. As Ryan Longwell puts it through for the extra point, the Packers come out in the first possession of the second half and cut it to a 1-point game.
And the Rams. Smith and the Broncos. Fox NFL Sunday, later today.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
This Green Bay offensive line got the job done a couple of plays after Terry Glenn's big 42-yard reception. And they come out 2 minutes, 12 seconds into the third quarter and cut it to a 21-20 football game. Allen Rossum from his goal line. Put on the brakes and knocked down. Torrance Marshall once again with a big hit.
Every time Torrance Marshall makes the tackle on kickoff. Here's the touchdown. Watch the whole left side of the offensive line here. Everybody in unison will come down. You got a great down block there. Then you'll have Earl Dotson coming over from the backside. He hits Keith Brookings, knocks him a couple yards into the end zone. Brookings actually does a good job. And then look at this pocket right here for Rondell Mealy. That's just how you draw it up. Brookings delivers an outstanding shot there on Earl Dotson there. Problem is he's a yard into the end zone.
Falcons start just over the 20-yard line. 2 tight ends in the game. Vick, perfect on his 10 passes in the first half. Starts this one off with a handoff. Warwick done. That's going to be good enough for 12 yards and a first down as he
what a move.
Bowls over Darren Sharper at the end there.
What a move. Antoine Edwards came up with some corner support there. Thought that he had Warwick Dunn stopped in the hole. You see him come up, settle up. No. He is just so shifty, Warwick Dunn.
And then lowers the shoulder on Sharper.
Yeah, he's tough, too. He's 185 pounds. He's shifty, but he runs tough.
Still with 2 tight ends. Packers showing blitz. Here comes the Sharper.
Again.
Warwick Dunn spun by him. Wound up picking up a tough yard on that play. Mike McKenzie finally tackled.
Sharper and Gilbert Brown had Warwick Dunn for a 2-3 yard loss there. Throws one of those shifty, nifty moves and spins out of it and able to pick up a gain. And that's when you look at a guy like Warwick Dunn. He doesn't take a lot of tackles for loss. He's got the ability to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
And he doesn't get hit directly a whole lot, which is why he's awfully durable for a guy who's his size.
Doesn't take a lot of shots, and Dan Reeves told us you expect to see him basically 2 series to 1 over T.J. Duckett.
Vick's first pass attempt, no, he brings it down. Dunn out there blocking for him. He's going to be close to the first down marker. Marty Nickerson with the stop. Vick with a smile on his face, and why not? The way he's playing today.
Watch Tyrone Williams. He'll try to sneak in from the corner. He's going to be coming on a corner blitz. Trying to disguise it, and then he'll go back. He's trying to set up Mike Vick is what he's trying to do. Mike just recognizes it, comes off of it, finds the crease there, and then goes with it. Defensive line have got to stay in their pass rush lanes against Mike Vick.
3rd and 1 for Atlanta. Vick on the sneak. Pushes the pile forward. See where they spot this one.
Keep in mind that Atlanta won the time of possession during the first half, and that's something that Dan Reeves talked about is Atlanta, we're not a quick strike offense. We got to be guys that just methodically move it down the field and move the chains and take time off the clock as they do get the first down here on Vick's sneak.
It'll be a first down at the 43-yard line for Reeves and the Falcons. T.J. Duckett now in at tailback. Crowd starting to come alive here again at Lambeau. Vick. Nowhere to run. Bounces it back outside. And chased down by Antoine Edwards. 2nd sack of the day for the Packers. That's a way to get the crowd back in it.
Mike Vick had nowhere to go there, but I'll tell you, there's one thing that Mike Vick could do here. You'll see him scramble. He's going to try to run it. Nope. Okay, he's still in the pocket. Now Mike Vick is outside of the pocket. Should have thrown that football away, Kurt, instead of taking the sack.
Four-yard loss. 2nd and 14. Short drop incomplete. His first incompletion of the day intended for Sean Jefferson.
Probably lucky he threw that high. Mike McKenzie all over him. The Predator. He's really turned into a complete player over the last couple of years, hasn't he?
He really has.
He's probably, he is, without question, their best corner, and starting to get that reputation almost as a shutdown guy. Remember how Dion used to be? He'll take this side of the field, and everybody else worry about the other side. It's the kind of player Mike McKenzie's starting to become.
First 3rd and long for Atlanta this day. They've got to get it almost to the 46 of Green Bay. Vick sets up across the field to Jefferson.
He
makes the reception. First down, Atlanta.
This will definitely display the arm strength of Mike Vick.
28 yards across the field.
Yeah, he's rolling to his right. Now, if he's going to get flushed, this is the way they want him to flush because he's got to throw against his body. But he sets his feet, bam, gets rid of it, and then just an outstanding catch. Antoine Edwards thought he could catch up here. That's a terrific catch by Sean Jefferson, who, by the way, has got a bad ankle and a bad back.
But he hangs in there for the 28-yard reception, gets it to the 32. Warwick Dunn on the handoff with room. Dancing. Tyrone Williams giving chase. Dunn fumbled that football. It's out of bounds. Warwick Dunn doing maybe a little bit too much dancing for himself.
Ball on the Packer 16, first down.
Another big hole by the offensive line for Warwick Dunn, and looks like he's a little shaken up on the play. The offensive line, everybody sets with the draw. To give to Warwick, the hole's just too big. No way Sharper can get up and fill that from his strong safety position, free safety position.
16 yards on the run by Dunn. Duckett replaces him. Just the 9th play of the drive. First down at the 17. Duckett escapes. 6 yards on the run. Mike McKenzie and Hardy Nickerson get it.
He's deceivingly fast, isn't he?
He really is for a guy that size. You don't expect, you know, him to display that speed.
Well, as soon as I saw him cut outside here, I thought, man, this is over. This Green Bay defense, the pursuit, too much speed is going to be able to track him down, and he just looks like he's lumbering out there and picks up 6 yards.
Well, here's a kid who came out of Michigan State University and, you know, had some tragedy in his life happen this spring when his mother passed away after battling lymphatic cancer for 6 years. Now living out his NFL dream. Duckett again. Picks up a yard on the play. Oh, his mother, her name was Jacqueline Graham. And there you see he's got her name tattooed on his arms. Not just her name, but her actual signature.
That's right. That's right. He got one of her library cards or something he couldn't quite remember that had her signature on it. Had it enlarged and then tattooed on the inside of his arm. I said, man, that must have hurt. I mean, that's probably one of the most tender spots on the body. He goes, man, with all the pain my mom went through raising us, is the least I could do.
Jacqueline borrowed his mother. Duckett steps out of the game right now. Vick on the run. Inside.
Another design run for Mike Vick. We've seen 3 of those already for Mike.
Oh, and he ran over Darren Sharper on that play, and Sharper, it's actually Gilbert Brown who is still down. Sharper made the tackle, but Gilbert Brown has yet to get up.
Because we can! Yes, we can!
Gilbert Brown limping off the field. We'll show you exactly what happened to him in just a second, but right now Atlanta has the ball on the 3-yard line. First and goal as Steve Warren comes into the game to replace Gilbert Brown. Warwick Dunn waiting for the blockers but can't get anywhere. Going to be dropped by Hardy Nickerson. That's Nickerson's 8th tackle, but let's take a look at what happened to Gilbert.
You see Gilbert Brown, he'll be right there. Roberto Garza is right behind him, and watch him roll him up from behind with the head on the knee. You don't do that in this league, and Roberto Garza, and let's see it again here, as Gilbert is right here. And you'll see the helmet on the right knee of Gilbert Brown right there, and that's something that the refs, Kurt, are trying to emphasize more of this year, the illegal chop, the chop from behind on defensive linemen, and that's just a classless act. That's a fine waiting to happen from the NFL office.
Second and goal for the Falcons. Play action. To the end zone. Through the hands of Reggie Kelly.
Are they just not covering the tight ends today? Have they decided that we're just going to let them run free in the back of the end zone? My goodness.
That was the play Atlanta wanted. It worked to perfection, except the catch wasn't made.
Where is the linebacker in this play? Hardy's going out with Bob Christian. Either Sharper or Nate Wayne are just so late getting over there, and it's obvious that they're worried about Mike Vick. There's nobody within 7 yards of Kelly on that play.
Third and goal. Vick gets it off. Incomplete. He had a Packer hanging on the back of him in Cledius Hunt.
Cledius Hunt's a guy that they really want to get big things out of. He's going to be right here. He'll be on the outside shade of the left guard, Travis Claridge. Good takeoff, good swim, gets the hands down, and keeps getting acceleration to the quarterback.
So the drop ball by Reggie Kelly going to wind up being a 4-point difference here at best if Jay Feely hits this 21-yard field goal attempt. Feely gets it up and through. So Atlanta settles for the field goal. They run the lead back out to 4 points, 24-20 here in the third.
You've been shopping for cellular.
Yeah, I don't know which way's up anymore.
I think I can help. You'll be fine now.
At Sprint stores, wireless becomes clear. With helpful salespeople, the best selection of phones, and great deals. Right now, get 3,500 minutes for $34.99 a month and save up to $100 on select PCS phones. Sprint stores, wireless made clear.
Next, Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. By Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's. By Sprint, introducing PCS Vision, clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. And by Nike.
Well, this Green Bay Packer faithful feeling good after their defense stopped Atlanta on a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line, and they saw Amon Green come back from the locker room. He was cramping up, which is why they took him in, got some fluids in him on this hot day in Green Bay. That's Javon Walker, the first-round pick, with his first kick return since high school, taking it out to the 33-yard line. The greatest pennant race in recent history is underway, and when the dust clears, Fox is the place to see the postseason drama unfold. We've got all the action covered, starting with the division series, continuing through the dramatic ALCS and NLCS, and culminating with the 2002 World Series. The baseball playoffs come to Fox this fall.
Boy, I'm glad they're still playing baseball. I mean, thinking about that strike, everybody would have got hurt in that strike, and especially with all the great stories going around both leagues this year. It's tremendous.
Amon Green comes back. Takes the reception into Falcon territory. Nice return by Green, and how about a return from James Brown?
Hey, Kurt, talk about a return. Adjustments in the first half to the second half by Washington. Take a look at this play action. Shane Matthews squeezing a 43-yarder to Rod Gardner. Washington with 2 scores out of the locker room on top, 24-16. That in the third. Back to Kurt and Tim Ryan.
All right, JB. Well, in the preseason, they put up numbers in the second half. That was against backups. Looks like they're doing it against the starters in Washington, as Arizona trying to fight and stay in that ball game. 18 yards on that last pass to Amon Green. He takes this carry through a hole. Pickup of 9.
The offensive line knocked the D-line for Atlanta about 3 yards off the football that time, establishing a new line of scrimmage, and you do that, usually you're going to win.
Well, Amon Green, everybody talks about Brett Favre, but especially with his new crew of receivers, he's the guy that defenses will focus on.
Absolutely. He led the team in receptions last year, and Brett says he still has a long way to go in learning the passing game and becoming a complete player in the passing game. He says it's the little things right now that are slowing him down, but still doing a great job.
79 yards rushing on this day so far. Connor Franks, the tight end, gets the first down to the 34-yard line, a gain of 7.
Good job by Brett Favre looking off the linebacker there, looking over to Terry Glenn, and then firing it to Bubba Franks right in the middle part of the zone there. You see Brett, he sees Terry. Henry Jones looks like he was ready to come up and pick that. Brett looks at him and just fires to his safety outlet right there in the middle. And Big Bubba, big target, 6'6", 265 pounds.
First down at the 28. Amon Green.
And if you're Tom Rossley, you ask yourself at halftime, or maybe the fans ask of the offensive, what adjustments will these guys make at halftime? I don't think they need to make any in terms of what Green Bay is doing offensively. I think they're doing pretty much what they want to do. They're having success running the football. Brett has not been pressured a lot, and he's able to find his receivers. There's Tom Rossley there, the offensive coordinator, right there for the Green Bay Packers. But they're fine on offense right now. They just got to figure on the other side of the ball how to stop Mike Vick.
Barr to Green out of the backfield. Matt Stewart trips him up. Stewart is a guy who had a good preseason for this Falcon team, and because of all the injuries to their linebackers, is getting a chance to showcase himself.
Yeah, he led them in sacks, led them in tackles in the preseason. I think a guy that's really benefited from the transformation from a 4-3 last year to Wade Phillips' 3-4 this year. You see he's in his second year out of Vanderbilt where they played a 3-4, and he was highly successful at that strong outside linebacker spot in that 3-4 scheme, and seems to fit to his abilities here in Atlanta as well this year.
You see a lot of teams switching to the 3-4. Pittsburgh was the only team that did it for a while. Then Cincinnati jumped on. Now they've jumped off. But Baltimore and Carolina.
The Raiders a little bit. Of course, the Houston Texans are going to run it.
William Henderson down to the 8-yard line.
The battering ram.
17 yards.
Watch Brett Favre. Watch his feet after he throws the football. Look, does he ever plant and set his feet? No,
Never.
He doesn't. Never. Look at him get up in the air and just find William Henderson right in between the two linebackers, and then the big boy just puts his head down. And
at least he admits that he never sets his feet.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to set his feet, and probably the reason he started 157 straight games in this league.
Yet today, number 158 in a row, an NFL record for quarterbacks.
Yep.
Penalty flags on the play. A referee, Ron Winter.
Looks like offsides on the offense.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's on Chad Clifton, just the second penalty against Green Bay, first against their offense. And, you know, I probably shouldn't say anything. With 58 seconds to go in the third quarter of the first preseason game, we've only had 5 penalties. Usually the first game during the regular season, you see a lot of penalties.
It's been clean. You know, we saw a lot of during the preseason was a lot of that neutral zone infraction with the defensive linemen crowding the ball and getting up in the neutral zone. And, of course, a lot of the offensive tackles not being lined up on the offensive line of scrimmage. Looks like guys have learned throughout the preseason, and they're playing some pretty clean football today.
First and goal from the 13. Ball has time towards the end zone. Caught by Javon Walker, but there's a penalty flag on the play. Let's see what the infraction is.
Holding. Number 30 defense. Penalty decline. Touchdown.
Henry Jones called for defensive holding. Javon Walker gets his first NFL touchdown. The first-round pick out of Florida State gives the Packers the lead for the first time since it was 3-0.
Guy's got a lot of big playability. Javon Walker.
Ryan Longwell gets the extra point, and the Packers take the lead back. It's 27-24 thanks to number 4.
No matter who your favorite team is, call 1-877-NFL-SHOP for your free team catalog.
Javon Walker with his first touchdown reception in his first NFL game. The number 1 pick out of FSU. First number 1 the Packers have taken at wide receiver since Sterling Sharp back in '88, and you see why.
And it's funny, he thought he was going to end up in Atlanta, and ended up, Atlanta got T.J. Duckett, of course. He was still on the board. Green Bay went out and grabbed him, and he's the kind of first-rounder that Brett Favre says you like to see. He's a humble guy, and he's got just a boatload of talent.
Allen Rossum from the 1. Knocked down hard by Todd McBride at the 25-yard line.
Here's the first touchdown by Javon Walker in his NFL career. You see him coming in motion here, and the key here is both of them getting off the bump and run. There's the hold by Henry Jones right there. Henry Jones gets the hold on Ferguson. But the big key here, guys, is both of these guys' ability to get off the bump and man coverage. That's something that Green Bay could not do last year, especially on third down. And here their rookie comes up big for them.
And they felt with Bill Schrader and Corey Bradford and Antonio Freeman, those guys had trouble getting off the line of scrimmage whenever cornerbacks came up on them. These guys showing that they can get the job done, at least so far in this one. TJ Duckett with a block. Duckett stays in bounds out to the 40-yard line. Nice job on the 15-yard pickup.
Good blocking out on the edge there by Todd Weiner, cleaning up the traffic for TJ Duckett. And see Brett's numbers there, 20 of 27, 233, a couple of touchdowns, 5 for 5 on that last drive for Brett Favre.
Oh, he's a guy he's always had fun.
I asked him,
all 12 years, but he seems to be invigorated by this new receiving core and the challenge that they have on their hands coming up this year. End of the third quarter. Packers on top, 27-24. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
America Online keeps us all connected.
It keeps me close to the people I love.
I'm closer to my grandparents because of AOL.
You've got mail.
AOL's got something for everybody.
AOL has parental controls, and that's important to me and my family.
America Online invented state-of-the-art parental controls because we know parents want to protect their children, and we continually improve parental controls to make them even easier to use.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Damon's. The grill is on.
Kurt Menefee, Tim Ryan with you at Lambeau Field. And Tim, the place I think is the most historic in the NFL and the most fun. It's turning into one of the most beautiful with the renovations going on.
Boy, it is. They've done such a great job of making this look like a new stadium, but at the same time preserving the nostalgia and the tradition of Lambeau Field. It's great.
Michael Vick going up top. He's got Brian Finneran, and he drops the football. Oh, my.
It does not get any easier than that for Brian Finneran. Mike Vick just drops this one in the breadbasket on the run again, throws it about 40 yards, and just drops a dime right on the money. Finneran just can't hold on to it. You see him, he comes in motion and then just takes off. Sharper let him go. Obviously a miscommunication, hit him right in the hands. He looked it in and just didn't hang on to it, didn't grab it. You look at him, he does what he's supposed to do. He's looking the football in.
And Dan Reeves can't believe it. Second down at the 40. Little outlet to Duckett. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. You know, we talk about the renovations here at Green Bay, not only outside but inside. The concourse and the locker room. The Packers, the biggest one I've seen in the NFL.
Oh, look at it. It's the shape of a football.
Now, that's the Packers' new locker room.
Yeah.
Where's their old locker room?
Where is there? Oh, there it is. There it is.
It's kind of hard to get dressed in there, isn't it?
Oh, boy. They're actually putting the visiting players now in the visiting locker room are in trailers this year.
But talk to some of the players.
Yeah.
You played in there when you were with Chicago coming up here.
Yeah, the trailers are better than the visiting locker room used to be, believe me.
3rd and 10 for the Falcons. They need to reach midfield. Vick has to pull it down. Trips over his own offensive lineman and lost the football.
They said he was down.
Well, he tripped over the foot of Todd Weiner, his right tackle.
Excellent coverage, again, downfield by the Green Bay secondary. You see they're sending 3 guys out, plus the running back. Everybody's tied up in coverage. Mike Vick has nowhere to go with the football. Thinks about putting it down and taking off right there, and then just trips and goes down. And yeah, the ground knocked the football loose there, but big stop there for the Green Bay Packers. The key, getting them in 3rd and long, stopping them on 2nd down, as Mike Sherman said.
Darian Gordon makes the fair catch of just the 2nd punt of the game for either team, both by Atlanta. That one's 35 yards.
What makes bodies in motion remain in motion? What makes what goes up stay up.
There's still plenty of time, but if Reggie Kelly hangs on in the end zone and Brian Finneran hangs on to that last one, Falcons are up by 11 rather than trailing by 3 with the Packers having the ball. Favre tripped up in the backfield. Patrick Kearney gets the sack.
Brett getting up slow there. A little shaken up.
It's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He doesn't get hurt.
See the sack here by Pat Kearney. Just keeps pressing it. Oh, that's one of those shoestring tackles right there, bringing Brett Favre down.
Well, Kearney coming off a career-high 12 sacks last season. And as you mentioned, was switched to a linebacker spot this year, but they put him back at defensive end in the 3-4.
Had some troubles in coverage, to say the least, and put some weight on, hunkered down there on the defensive end, and he's doing fine.
Big run by Amon Green. Green picking up 10 yards on the run. Ray Buchanan finally stopped him.
Huge hole up front for Amon there again.
Brett Favre, of course, started his career as a second-round draft pick by the Atlanta Falcons back in 1991. And, well, he wasn't the most coordinated quarterback. Let's just say it that way. But since trading him in 92, the Falcons have been looking for a replacement. Look at all those guys.
Oh. You trying to tell me that he wasn't a projected Hall of Famer back in 92?
Well, he was a third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
You see his win total, 103. The other quarterbacks, 68 victories. Quick pass through the hands of Donald Driver, incomplete.
Got to catch that Donald Driver right in the hands. Brett had him on the slant, and maybe a little too much mustard on that.
Driver, who's had a big day. First time he's dropped one.
A lot of heat on that football. Still should have caught it, though. Yeah, 3rd and 2, you got to catch that football.
And so Josh Bidwell comes on for his first punt. Alan Rossum, the deep man for the Falcons. From the 18. Good through. Into Packard territory. We're talking about tiptoeing down the sidelines. He found a way to stay in bounds and pick up another 7-8 yards, but it looked like he was forced out. 45 on the punt, 36 on the return by Rossum.
So you've got access to 225 channels and all the football you can watch.
It's awesome. Hey, you want a soda?
Sure.
Okay, Mike, just throw a short pass right at his chest.
No, run it. There's a hole to the right of the coffee table.
Mike, don't run it. Throw it. He's wide open.
No, run it. Throw it now. Go.
Mike, throw it.
Throw it, Mike.
Okay,
NFL's next.
Well, the Falcons have had their chances here in Green Bay in the 3rd quarter. Michael Vick hit Reggie Kelly in the end zone, but he drops that one. And then a wide open Brian Finneran down the sideline. He would have been in the end zone, but he dropped that one. So Atlanta trails 27-24 here in the 4th quarter. Vick to the air. That's caught in traffic. And a nice job by Finneran of hanging in on that one. Michael Vick now completing his 13th pass in 17 attempts on the day. Brett Favre with a nice day passing as well. And Amon Green approaching 100 yards. As all the other categories fairly close, as is the score, 27-24, 11:15 to go here in the 4th quarter. 2 tight ends in for Atlanta on first down at the 33. Pump fake. Being chased from behind. Vick sprints out in front of everybody down to the 20-yard line. Niall Diggs catches his feet, but only after 13 more by Vick on the ground.
And this comes right from the head coach for Mike Vick. If nobody's open down the field, Dan Reeves tells him, look, every guy is covered, you're not. Take off, do what you do best, and run the football. Of course, the big key defensively there was Vonnie Holliday, the right defensive end, getting pinned down. You cannot give up contained to any quarterback in this league. They get out in space, they're going to hurt you, especially if it's a guy like Mike Vick. He'll kill you.
Dan Reeves says he thinks that Vick has a tendency to stay in the pocket too long sometime, trying to prove that he can be a pocket passer.
Well, uncharacteristic of a guy with his ability, he was sacked once every 6 times he threw the football last year.
1st and 10. Dunn bouncing it outside. He picks up 9 yards on the play. Hardy Nickerson on a tackle. Ray Buchanan talked to the kid before the game about just that.
Ready to roll, dog? Huh? Me, I'm going to be sitting on the sideline and stuff like that now. If you feel like, you want to come and talk to me about something, just come and let me know. I can handle it.
Have somebody to rely on, baby.
Hey, got to have somebody. I'm going to let you know what I see out there. Something they doing, I'm going to let you know what I see. But when everything else fails, tuck and run.
Tuck and run.
On them, dog.
Oh, that's what he's been doing so far today. 9 carries, 72 yards for Vic.
Killing the Packers.
Warwick Dunn. He's going to be near that 1st down marker. Had to get to the 10-yard line and got there. 1st down Atlanta and goal to go.
I think if there's 2 things you need to do right now if you're the Green Bay Packers on defense. Number 1, keep your ends in contained position. Do not let them take a chance and come underneath on a rush because Vic will make you pay. And then on top of that, make sure they've got their coverages straight because you saw the 2 big missed ones, the one to Kelly and the one to Finner, and obviously both of them busted coverage. Someone's not communicating back there. Can you say, where's Leroy Butler?
Well, that's a big missing piece of this team. Butler now in retirement is at the game today, though. 1st and goal. Dunn. Shifting down to the 2-yard line. Darren Sharper with the tackle. Well, this Atlanta offensive line continues to play well. They have given up the 3 sacks, but their run blocking has been good.
And they were a question mark coming in. You see all of them here across the front really have played well. They played well here last year. They come off the football. Weiner with a good block. Vonnie Holliday just runs himself out of the play. And then watch Bob Christian. Bam, number 44, good block there. You never get a good shot on Warwick Dunn. Never. He gets squared up and able to hit him right in the mouth. He's too shifty.
Well, the Falcons have run bootlegs down here with Michael Vick on the touchdown pass to the tight end Crumpler and the drop touchdown pass also to Kelly at the other end.
Hey.
This time they pitch it to Dunn. Trying to get it outside. Moves back inside into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta Falcons.
What a key block for Bob Christian.
Warwick Dunn with his 2nd touchdown run of the day, and the Falcons go back on top.
And the block was on Darren Sharper from Bob Christian. And we mentioned what a good game Bobby had last year. Here's Bob right in the fullback position right there. He'll come up right there. Sharper tries to take him down low, basically takes himself out of the play. And Warwick Dunn, you just can't do that to him. He is too nimble-footed. He's going to find the crease and get it in.
Bob Christian with the big block. Dunn with the big TD score. And Atlanta regains the lead. Jay Feely for the extra point. Oh, we're going back and forth. It's the Falcons back on top, 31-27.
Day is brought to you by UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere.
Oh, Warwick Dunn getting all cleaned up. He's got a cut on his arm. We know about the blood and sweat today. Which team will be shedding tears at the end of this one as the Falcons retake the lead 31-27. 8 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the opening game at Lambeau Field. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Ryan here on the NFL's big kickoff weekend. Devon Walker in the end zone, just downs it right there. And that brings Brett Favre back on the field, and everyone knows how much fun Favre likes to have playing this game. Of course, much noted his relationship with Warren Sapp, a little headbutt there, but this maybe goes way back. This is my partner, Tim Ryan, when he was with the Chicago Bears, a little headbutt there. You're a little too soft on the quarterback.
Yeah, Brett likes the contact, though. You see that big, nasty neck roll I got on there?
What is that?
Oh, it's a toilet seat.
Were you styling?
Man. I was styling. That's old school. That is old school. It's kind of funny. We saw a clip of Dan Reeves playing back here way back when in the Ice Bowl, and he had the same neck roll on.
But I think your neck roll had bell bottoms on it, though. That was the problem. First down from the 20. Favre to Green. Pickup of 8 yards. You know, the problem is, though, you haven't realized that once you get off the field, give up the neck roll.
Oh, I thought I came to play today.
Well, you look like it. What is this?
Huh?
Well, first of all, it's
Got
nearly
the
90
roll on.
degrees, and you're still wearing the jacket, too, so I know something's
Well,
not
it's my
right with
birthday
you.
today. I got to look good.
Well, happy birthday, young man.
Thank you very much. And, boy, this roll is ugly, isn't it? I don't think there probably is maybe one guy in the NFL right now wearing a roll like this, and it's probably Ted Washington in Chicago. I don't think a lot of guys are wearing these anymore, but...
Well, there's John Theory, who's still down right now, and Theory is a guy who played with these Green Bay Packers the last couple of years. And he's getting up slowly. He broke his leg in the first week of the preseason games. It was just the fibula, which is the small bone in the leg, so he's been able to come back 4 weeks later.
And Atlanta lacking depth already right now with 4 linebackers down with injury. Can't afford to lose another one here in John Theory, and he's just getting his legs back underneath him.
Well, you mentioned 4 linebackers out, meaning the Falcons start 4 linebackers in that 3-4, and they only have 2 as backups in Jeff Kelly and Sam Rogers. And right now, Jeff Kelly, or make it Sam Rogers, comes in the football game to replace Theory. And Amon Green picks up the first down for Green Bay. Fox NFL Sunday returns next week when JB, Terry, and Howie welcome special guest John Elway. The future Hall of Famer will tell our guys who he thinks are the elite quarterbacks in the game today, and he helps break down next week's games. That's Fox NFL Sunday returning at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, followed by exciting NFL action as most of you see these Packers take on the New Orleans Saints.
So happy Elway got those 2 Super Bowls at the end of his career.
Amon Green with the carry. Scoots his way out to the 39-yard line to pick up a 4. And Brett Favre kind of mentioned the fact that John Elway got that at the end of his career, a couple of Super Bowls. Not saying that he would retire if he won one, but he says he's starting to think about retirement for the first time in his career.
Yeah, he is. It's been 12 years, and people don't really realize that it's been 12 great years for Brett Favre in the National Football League. And listen, his body hurts like everybody else's. He can tell you that he loves this game, which he does, and he can run around out there like he's a 22-year-old rookie. But believe me, with all the battles that he's been in, his body's hurting just like every other guy on the field.
Burns 33 in October. Scrambling out this time, up high, too high for Terry Glenn, incomplete.
Going back to John Elway for a second, and everything we hear is the arm strength of Mike Vick, and guys that played with him and guys that have played against him say maybe the strongest arm in the National Football League right now. And that was my first question to Dan Reeves, of course, with all the time in Denver with John Elway.
When Elway was a rookie.
When Elway was a rookie, whose arm is stronger, Mike Vick or John Elway? And he said, without question, John Elway. Said Mike Vick may have a quicker release, but as far as a pure cannon, a pure rifle, John Elway's got it.
I'm sure a lot of those Bronco receivers will show you the chest marks to prove it.
The X in the chest plate, right?
Packers need 5 yards. They're 7 for 10 on 3rd downs today. Favre in trouble. Escapes. Ball came out, but Favre recovered.
Clifton's down.
Well, he got the first down. Chad Clifton was there, and there's a whole lot of battling going on. Brady Smith thought he had him, dragging him down by one hand, but Favre broke away and got enough yardage for the first down.
And Brett has never been known as a guy that's going to break away from tackles when he's in trouble. He's in shotgun here. See Brady Smith coming up. Jasper actually forces it. Smith thinks he has him. Brett Favre just stays with it and ground knocked the football loose there. Jasper's a good pass rusher for a nose guard.
It was Mike Wall staying with Brady Smith to prevent him from being able to sack Favre. But at the same time, they may have lost their left tackle in Chad Clifton, who has gone out of the game limping. And, you know, we talk about depth. All teams have this. But right now, the Packers also battling injury problems with their offensive line.
Absolutely. Earl Dotson will come in here for Chad Clifton. And Earl's a guy that hasn't played a lot this preseason. Actually was
before number 4 touched the ground.
They're going to
challenge you. The Falcons are saying that they thought it was a fumble on this play.
Getting back to Earl Dotson, is he hasn't played football really at all this summer. He's got a back injury, had a herniated disc last year, and
had off-season knee surgery, which is still sore, he says.
Yep, and barely put on the pads and started practicing just last week. So
well, here's a replay of that. Let's see if it was a fumble. There you see him escaping Brady Smith. And that ball looks like it's hard to tell from that angle.
It's hard to tell from that angle. See if we can see it from here. Can't see it from there either. Although it sure squirts out a long way, doesn't it?
Sure does.
By the time his knee hits the ground, the ball is about 2 yards away from him. You just can't tell.
And whether or not this ball is fumbled will affect the spotting of the football.
Here we go. Knee down. It looked like
it's hard
just
to tell.
Split second before that knee went down. Maybe that ball was popped loose by Keith Brooking there. I mean, it looks like it's a fumble. Brooking gets his hand right there on the football. Knee's not down. Football's loose. Wait, that's almost simultaneous, isn't it? What do you think?
That's close to tell, and once again, they ruled it a fumble, so they've got to see evidence to prove to them that it was not a fumble. And I don't know if that's enough to overturn a call that was made on the field. Once again, the Falcons challenging this because it will determine the spot of the football.
They didn't call it a fumble on the field. They called it down on the field, right?
I'm told they called it a fumble on the field, is what the officials said. So they're trying to decide whether or not that ball is spotted.
Yeah, I was surprised because they moved the chains to the first down marker. They moved that right away, and
because they thought it was a fumble that was recovered by Green Bay. Now, once again, you have a minute and a half on the replay challenge to look at it, but after they determine whether or not it was a fumble, in order to decide whether or not the ball should be spotted at 1 yard line or another, they can take longer to look at the replay.
That's right. There's more than just looking at the ball coming loose here. They got to, if indeed it is a fumble, where will the spot be is something that comes into play.
And here's Ron Winter with the official verdict.
After review, the ball was loose before the quarterback's knee touched the ground. Therefore, the fumble, as ruled on the field, stands. First down.
Wait, that's a heck of a call by the officials there, because we saw that in super slow motion and it was hard to tell, and they actually made the right call on the field.
Well, they stuck with their call is what they did, which means they either saw something that said it was a fumble, which is what he said, or they just didn't feel there was enough evidence and decided to say they stuck with it. So Green Bay holds on to it right at the 48-yard line. Atlanta will lose a timeout. Amon Green into Falcon territory. Good enough for another Packer first down after a gain of 12.
Take another look at it here. You'll see Brooking come shooting in there, hit the ball. That is just awfully hard to tell, isn't it? Imagine at game speed, too. It's almost impossible.
Green Bay at the Atlanta 41. Barr. Quick pass out to Walker. Javon Walker makes a move. Ray Buchanan finally drags him down along with help from Gerald McBurrows. A pickup of 9.
What the Packers want to do, just dink and donk, move the chains, take time off the clock. Keep number 7, Mike Vick, on the sideline. How about the acquisition this offseason of Warrick Dunn and what he's meant here in this opening game for the Atlanta Falcons? I mean, Mike Vick is the story, but Warrick Dunn has been pretty darn good.
The Falcons offense have shown they can put up points. Green Bay trying to keep pace with 4:40 left to go in this ball game. Green on 2nd and 1, hit in the backfield, fell forward. Looks like he may have gotten enough for the first down. Matt Stewart in on the tackle.
Terrific effort by 52 Matt Stewart, knifing in there to try to get Amon Green off his feet.
First down, Packers. And more importantly for them, should they get a touchdown, the clock keeps going. It's down to 4 minutes, 10 seconds. And with this being a 4-point game, Green Bay, with this little time left, needing to go into the end zone. Wade Phillips, the new defensive coordinator for the Falcons. And this new 3-4 defense looking to see if it can withstand the pressure. Green. Close to another Packer first down. Gerald McBurrows on the tackle.
Good run, good vision by Amon Green here, and Marco Rivera with a terrific block in the open field. You'll see Marco there on the middle linebacker. See, Holisek takes one way, and Amon Green doing a great job of just cutting off of his block of Rivera and picks up about 9 on the play.
Amon Green now 128 yards rushing. He had 157 in the season opener last year in the win over Detroit, so apparently he is good to go on opening day.
Only second to Marshall Faulk in the league last year in terms of all-purpose, nearly 2,000.
He's out. Rondell Mooney is in, and he's inside the Atlanta 10, still fighting down inside the 5. Oh, it doesn't hurt when you take Amon Green out if you got a Mealy to put in.
I told you, didn't I?
Yeah, you were right.
I told you he's no Amon Green, but he's pretty darn good. And he's a guy that, if you remember, was down at LSU and didn't play a lot early in his career. He was behind Kevin Falk, who's up in New England, and here he just has a gaping hole. Holisek runs himself out of it. Look at the block by the receivers. You see Javon Walker? Look at Javon Walker come down and get a block on the edge there and spring Rondell Mealy.
18 yards
There's
on the
the
run
block
by
by
Mealy.
Walker right there. Just securing the edge for Rondell Mealy, and picks up the big gain.
First and goal for the Packers at the 4-yard line.
Big point of emphasis for this Green Bay receiving corps was blocking downfield in the running game.
Mealy stopped at the line of scrimmage. Everything bottled up right there. Falcons defensive line getting a good push.
Brooking on Henderson there on the isolation play, just blasted him.
And that'll be the final play before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Opening day at Lambeau Field. Hometown Packers down by 4. No S on the chest, but a G on the helmet. The Green Bay Packers Superman. 23 career game-winning comebacks for Brett Favre. 21 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs, and they're looking for 1 more today. Trailing the Falcons 31-27 at the 2-minute warning. Ball on the 4-yard line. The handoff from Amon Green. Tripped up. He's going to be stopped short right about the half-yard line.
Sherman's got to be elated with their ability to run the football today. And last year, Amon Green, we talked about what he did in terms of yards, was up over 1,300 yards on the season. But in terms of ranking in the league and rushing the football, the Green Bay Packers were not very good. That was an area they wanted to improve. And today, it hasn't been just the long runs by Amon Green. It's been the short ones as well.
Falcons take a timeout with 1:40 left to play, trying to hold on to the lead. Packers with the ball, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. They're 8 of 11 on the day for 3rd downs, but this is the most important as they trail by 4 points. 1:40 left to play in this opening game. The tackle on the left side, Earl Dotson, has reported as eligible. They run that way. Amon Green stopped. Second effort. No signal yet. And he will be spotted down short of the goal line.
Very well played by Brooking and the rest of that Atlanta defense. We'll take a timeout here. You watch them all. You'll see Amon Green go to the left side of the line. Wall gets out and pulls. Good kick out block there, but William Henderson misses his block on the inside on John Holisek, who comes up and makes a big play there on Amon Green.
Did that ball come out again?
Yeah, it did. Both of them went to kick out the edge guy and miss Holisek, who was able to make the tackle.
Falcons use their last timeout to stop the clock. 1:16 to go in the ball game. A big 4th and 1.
If William Henderson leads up in that hole like he's supposed to, that's an easy 6 points. Sometimes it's hard, though. A guy flashes in front of your face and you're thinking, and you can't make the step to the next level.
This play is now under review. I think the officials saw what we saw in the replay booth. They'll take a look here, and we'll see if this ball is out, and also whether or not he crossed the goal line before the ball came out.
Yeah, and of course, under 2 minutes, this is the officials' review up in the replay booth. Here it is here. Brooking pulling that ball loose.
He's still fighting with the second effort.
I don't see a fumble there. He still had the football. His knees were down, didn't he?
Well, the question is, did the ball cross the plane of the goal line? Because they could also be reviewing this to see whether or not he got a touchdown.
Yep. Not down yet.
That ball did not cross the goal line from that angle.
It didn't.
Now he's still fighting with the second effort, and keep in mind, as long as he is on top of bodies, that he is still alive. He can still push his way into the end zone. He's not considered down just yet unless his forward progress has been stopped and he's on top of bodies. But if he's still fighting and trying to get into the end zone, they can say he's still pushing and shoving, and if he gets it there, it could be a touchdown. So this will be a huge call from the replay official. If not, it will be 4th and goal, about 6 inches away from the goal line.
There's not many better middle linebackers in the league than that guy right there out of Georgia Tech, Keith Brooking.
I played high school ball in Georgia, college ball, and obviously now in the pros.
Georgia's own.
Only the second guy to do it following his idol, Jesse Tuggle, who did the same thing. Ron Winter taking a long, hard look at this one and talking to the guys in the replay booth. He has let them know what his call is. Now he will let the rest of us in.
Now the call on the field is on the half-yard line, right? That was the call on the field that he was down.
Yes. Here we go. Well, now he's talking to other officials before making the call.
Talk to us, Ron.
Atlanta has requested the timeout.
Well, he never told us the verdict of the replay review.
Can we hear that, please?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The ball was short of the goal line when the runner was down by contact. Makes it 4th down. Atlanta requested a timeout.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it, but I do. I never saw the football cross the goal line.
Yeah. Take another look. Watch right down this goal line, and you'd have a good angle of whether or not the ball broke the plane.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do is break the plane.
There you see the ball not.
Yeah, right here. There's the football. It is not across the plane. Holisek actually keeps him out with his helmet just the way he was laying. Otherwise, Amon would have easily pushed that football over the goal line, and then he was down and the ball came loose. So I think it's good spot, good call by the official. Holisek, another guy brought down from Buffalo with Wade Phillips. 3 100-plus tackle seasons up in Buffalo for John Holisek.
And we welcome you, those of you that are joining us here at Lambeau Field. Atlanta owning a 31-27 lead on the Packers. 1:16 left to play. Kurt Menefee along with Tim Ryan. Packers 4th and goal from the 6-inch line. Up back, William Henderson. Falcons defense goes up. Did they stop him? Touchdown, Green Bay Packers is the call.
Well, you earn your money inside there. That's where the big boys like to play. Just right up the gut. Surprised with the dive play to William Henderson, but obviously the right one to call. And you watch William Henderson throughout his career. This cat has quietly excelled and been very, very underrated throughout.
First carry of the day for Henderson gives the Packers the lead late. And a happy Packers sideline along with 65,000 here at Lambeau Field.
Is there a better way to open up the new stadium for the Packer fans?
Oh, now the Falcons will still get the ball back as we have an injury down on the field right now. But Atlanta is out of timeouts. John Theory, the injured Falcon. We take another look at the touchdown. Oh, that's another case of he's on top of bodies and still
fighting. He's just battling. That's pure strength and desire by William Henderson there. Actually had him stopped. As we see here from the side, we'll see the ball cross the plane. Still driving. Second effort right there. He's over. All second effort by the big fullback, William Henderson. Atlanta doing a good job stuffing it up, but William Henderson wouldn't be denied.
William Henderson, the fullback, said last year this Packer team did not take the Atlanta Falcons seriously enough.
Look at him driving the feet. You still see the feet. They're driving still. He's still driving them.
Well, Atlanta came in to hand the Packers their only loss of the 2001 season. And it would be appropriate then if Henderson, who was the guy who publicly said they didn't take him seriously enough, came out and got what, as of now, would be the game-winning score. But keep in mind, even though Atlanta has no timeouts left, if Green Bay gets the extra point, it's just a 3-point game.
Yeah, can you say Allen Rossum? He obviously had a huge punt return that brought it back to the 45-yard line on the last scoring drive for the Atlanta Falcons.
And the officials are taking another look at this one.
This is an easy call to me. He's up, still on his feet, second effort. He's across the plane. That's touchdown. His head is well over the goal line.
But where's the ball? That's what matters.
He's got the ball high up in his chest. That's a touchdown. Yeah, he's got the football right under his chin. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. He's still not down. I never saw his knees go down. Yeah. Never saw his knees go down before he got across the plane to the goal line. And special teams coverage has not been good for the Green Bay Packers today. And depending on what happens here with the touchdown, this kickoff coverage is going to be huge.
Jay Feely, the Atlanta field goal kicker, has a career long of 55 yards. Last year in Arizona on a hot day, a lot like this.
Yep. One of the better kickers in the league last year.
In his first year. But we'll find out whether or not he'll need to kick as the officials are taking another look at this. And remember, the call is touchdown, so unless they see something to prove that it's not a touchdown, they're going to have to go with the call that was made, and Green Bay will hold on to the lead.
I'm going to say it's a no-brainer. Let's see if Ron Winter makes me look stupid.
It's your first game. He can't make you look too bad, can he?
Yeah, really.
After review, there is no indisputable visual evidence to change the call. Touchdown.
No-brainer.
So Atlanta's out of timeouts, and earlier in this quarter, they lost a timeout on a replay challenge.
Yep, they sure did, and that's going to be key, obviously, right now when you've only got a minute 10 and you've got a second-year quarterback at the helm trying to run your 2-minute offense.
So Ryan Longwell on for the extra point.
Got to have a good snap and hold here. This is a big extra point.
He's already missed one field goal today.
Go!
And he stays perfect on the extra points, giving the Packers the lead at 34-31. All right, here's how we got here. The Packers came out, took a 3-0 lead in the game, but Atlanta came back on the back of Michael Vick, in from 2 yards out, and then Warwick Dunn from 3 yards away to take a 14-3 lead. Green Bay cut it to 14-10, but then Vick hit Algie Crumpler to make it 21-10. It was 21-13 at halftime. Third quarter, Packers begin to come back. Rondell Mealy makes it 21-20. A field goal gave them the lead, and then they retook it. But Atlanta retook the lead once again thanks to Warwick Dunn's second touchdown, and then Green Bay went back on top on that last play. Brett Favre and the Packers on top 34-31 with 1 minute 10 seconds left in this ball game. Atlanta will take over with no timeouts, and Michael Vick, who has been the star of the day, will get one chance to be the hero.
428 yards of total offense for Green Bay, and I think it's pretty obvious that Atlanta got tired here in the second half on defense. Some good long drives by the Packers and moving the chains and able to run the football. This kickoff coverage here is going to be absolutely huge for Green Bay. They've got to get down and get Atlanta stopped within their own 30-yard line. And Frank Novak, the special teams coach of Green Bay right now, is probably biting his fingernails.
Well, the Packers allowed 2 kickoffs for touchdowns to be returned in the preseason.
Yep.
And you talk to the Packers and they say, well, you know, those are guys that aren't here anymore. But head coach Mike Sherman mentioned he is concerned about that being momentum, working against his team and other teams coming in, thinking and feeling they can return the ball.
Even though it's different guys, you're still seeing the green and gold or the green and yellow out there getting touchdowns scored on their kickoff coverage, and gives the guys some motivation and some momentum to come in here and think they can do it.
And as you said, Longwell has been short with his kickoffs last year and this year. Allen Rossum, the deep man for Atlanta. This one backs him up to the 5. Well, some dancing around at the 31-yard line are wrapped up by a number of Packers. And so Michael Vick will take over officially. They'll spot it right at the 32-yard line. And Atlanta trailing by 3 points. Well, they had their chances in this ball game to really be ahead. Michael Vick finds Reggie Kelly in the end zone, but Kelly drops the football. And then Brian Fitterin wide open. No one in front of him, and he drops that one. So instead of being ahead with those 2 touchdowns, they got 1 field goal and wound up punting the ball. And so now they're down by 3. 1:01 to go and no timeouts. Vick having to talk to his fullback Bob Christian because of the crowd noise. Starting at the 31. Vick under pressure. Gets rid of it. And that's Algie Crumpler, the tight end, trying to fight his way out of bounds. And he got there. 11 yards and an Atlanta first down.
Green Bay in the prevent defense rushing only 3 guys. And what they're trying to do, and usually what you do when you're winning a game and there's less than a minute left, you rush 3, you drop 8, you play zone, you keep everybody in front of you. You come up and make the tackle, try to keep them in bounds and make them use the clock. The last play of the defense, you see the 3-man rush. Top of the screen almost gets to Mike Vick right there. He's able to step up.
Good job by Crumpler of getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, knowing where the first down marker is.
From the 42. Vick under pressure again. Brought down by the sack. Kabir Bajat Miller.
Well, he almost had it the last time around the corner on that 3-man rush, taking care of Todd Weiner. And here's another rule change. The clock will not stop.
Miller got an early jump, and so the flags come out.
Remember, another rule change from the officials this year. After a sack, the clock will not stop under 2 minutes. In years past, it was a situation where the defense would actually get penalized.
On the minute to the quarterback. Defense. A 5-yard penalty.
Called on Miller for getting that early jump.
Yeah, the defense back in years past would actually get penalized for making a sack during the last 2 minutes of a football game with the clock being able to stop. So they've changed that rule, awarding the defense for rewarding them for making a big play, and Miller just comes up with a big sack there. 13.5 last year, as you mentioned. This guy was a huge surprise when he came out of San Diego State 3 years ago. They didn't expect him to be the type of pass rusher that he's become here in Green Bay.
Well, they gave them the yardage back that was taken away on the sack. 32 seconds to go. Vick from the shotgun. Got all kinds of time. Wide open. That pass complete to Willie Jackson down inside the 35-yard line. Clock keeps ticking.
Expect a little tighter zone than that. That was too easy.
Vick spikes the football. So the ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Right now, that would be about a 51-yard attempt. Okay, we mentioned that Feely kicked a 55-yarder last year for his career high.
And something to look at here, absolutely no wind here in Green Bay. And with the new addition, I think the way it is, it's more of a bowl-shaped stadium now, and it seems to keep the wind out. That won't be a factor for Feely on the kick.
So if you're the Falcons, do you take one shot here at the end zone before bringing Feely on for the kick, or do you play conservatively and go, let's just play for the field goal, the time?
I think you may take a shot for a first down.
Just to try and pick up some more yardage, make it shorter?
Yep.
3 receivers in for Atlanta. Vick looking. Jackson incomplete. And that was the first bad throw, if you will, we've seen from Vick all day.
Well, they don't have time to do that again, that's for sure. 9 seconds left on the clock. As a matter of fact, if he would have caught that, they would have had a lot of trouble getting another play off.
So Jay Feely comes on. Feely has already made a 21-yarder today. This officially will be from 52 yards away.
Green Bay.
And the Packers call the timeout to try and ice the guy. And, you know, I've talked to kickers, and I wonder if this works or not. More kickers than not tell me that it just gives them time to collect their thoughts and relax. A lot of times as a kicker, You run onto the field, you're trying to hurry up, although the clock will stop here, but you're in a hurry up mode. And they say, okay, this gives me a chance to catch my breath. We'll find out whether or not this does work.
I think it does in a couple different ways. I don't think it'll work here with Feely. Now, whether he makes the kick or not, I don't know. But he's a guy that's got a lot of confidence coming into this season. And you ice him, and it doesn't bother him whatsoever. Now, another guy that has zero confidence, you ice him, and he starts to think about it.
Don't forget, after we're done here at Lambeau, Marshall Faulk and the Rams take on Brian Greasy and the Broncos. Or it's the Saints and the Buccaneers. A full day of NFL action continues on this, the NFL's kickoff weekend, right here on Fox.
Got to be excited for that John Gruden era to begin down in Tampa Bay, huh?
Well, whatever game you get, I can't imagine it's going to be much better than this one.
No.
Packers and the Falcons have gone back and forth. Green Bay up by 3 with 9 seconds left. Jay Feely attempting a 52-yard field goal. Chris Moore with a hold. It's up. And it's good. And so Jay Feely comes through from 52 yards out, and the Falcons have tied the game.
That could have gone from 55 easy. Like Cledius Hunt got a little shaken up on the play. Pretty excited over there on the sideline. Look at him. Perfect snap, perfect hold, good blocking up front. He gets all of it.
And this is the kicker's moment to shine. If you're Jay Feely, you got to be feeling good about yourself right now from 52 yards out, and he knew it.
The arms on this kicker, are you kidding me?
He's working out in the weight room a little bit.
Look at him.
On the other sideline, Mike Sherman.
He's got a game on his hands. It's nothing different than when he started about 3 hours ago, right?
It's all tied up. 5 seconds left here in regulation.
Feely knew he had that as soon as it left his foot. Hit that pure.
Falcons went 35 yards in 1:05 in just 6 plays with no timeouts to tie this game.
That's why I don't like the prevent defense at times. If you're going to play it a little tighter than that. I mean, those coverages were way too big. Way too much room in those zone coverages for those guys to maneuver around, settle down, and pick up a couple of easy first downs. And here's the real story of this game, folks. Right there, Mike Vick.
15 of 21, 209 yards and a touchdown passing. 9 carries for 72 yards on the ground.
I'd say he's answered the critics today.
Devon Walker. And he's brought down with no time left on the clock. And the opening game of this season for both the Falcons and the Packers will go to overtime.
How about it? The Falcons were in an overtime game last year in the opener against San Francisco, if you remember, and they ended up losing that one 16-13. And they did a great job all game long against San Francisco last year. Got into overtime, gave up 2 big pass plays, big plays against their defense, allowed Cortez to kick a field goal, and the game was over.
And that was a game where they had the lead throughout and lost it in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
Much like they did today.
Played a superb game out in San Francisco last year in the opener, and offensively today, they've arrived. I mean, they've arrived. The receiving corps, say what you will, they don't have a lot of guys that scare you out there in that receiving corps, but when you've got Mike Vick running the show and you got a guy like Warwick Dunn in the backfield, let's give the big boys up front a little bit of credit. They play well here at Lambeau Field. That offense has looked pretty good today. When we listened to Wade Phillips, what did Wade Phillips say yesterday? Some of the rules here open.
Coin toss, and of course 1 15-minute quarter. Each team will have 2 timeouts, and all replays will be from the booth, which I think is the most important thing. First team, obviously, the scorer will win.
What's your choice?
No sudden death.
It is the tail. Want to receive? Which goal do you want to defend? Turn around, please.
Listening to the crowd, who do you think won the coin toss?
Let me guess.
Green Bay has won the toss. He elects to receive. Good luck, man.
And so the Packers will get the first chance at it here in overtime. Game 1 of the 2002 season. Everybody's got to work a little harder. Kurt Menefee along with the former Bear Tim Ryan doing his first NFL game on Fox. It's Lambeau Field, and it's overtime.
Does it get any better?
And it's your birthday.
Are you kidding me?
And it's your birthday.
Oh,
what more can you ask for, young man?
I guess maybe if I was down on the field playing. Not. Much better being up here. It is so hot down there today, and these guys have stuck it out. Has been a terrific football game on both sides. How much more exciting can it get? 34-34, 68 total points. That's some offensive football.
And we've seen good play by both these teams, especially offensively and especially from the quarterbacks.
And I think another point, it's been a clean game. And not a lot of penalties as we go into overtime here. Everybody's played it pretty close to the vest. You won't put an S on his chest, but I'll put one on his back. Right there.
He is indeed Superman.
Yeah. Anybody else that you'd rather have the ball in overtime as you start out in subs?
Absolutely no question.
No way.
But Michael Vick is going to make a case for himself if the Falcon defense can stop Green Bay. That's Javon Walker. Ducks underneath and carries it out to the 34-yard line. Packers will begin from there. And speaking of carries, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday and welcome to Fox.
Thanks a lot, you guys, everybody. Wait, this is a surprise, huh?
How many candles?
Oh, there's none there, but 35 is going to be it. Thanks a lot, everybody. That's awesome. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks a lot, Kurt.
Looking forward to it. Should be a great run.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, we've got a great finish coming up here at Lambeau. Packers starting at the 34-yard line in overtime. All tied at 34. Brett Favre in regulation. 22 of 31, 251 yards and 2 scores. And on the ground, it's been Ahman Green who is taking care of business. Green has had a fantastic opener. 22 carries, 133 yards rushing. We mentioned in the season opener last year he had 157.
Picked up a lot of tough yards today, I think.
And he went out with an injury.
That's right. Went out with an injury to the abdomen and actually got carted into the locker room, came back out and picked up right where he left off, positive yards.
Also 5 receptions for 39 yards for Green. Quick pass out to Donald Driver. Good enough for a Packer first down, a gain of 11. Ashley Ambrose on the tackle.
Got Donald Driver out at the split end position here, and look at the cushion from Ashley Ambrose. He's in man coverage. You cannot give a cushion like that if a guy's going to run a slant. That's automatic. Brett gets out there, sees that cushion. He knows that's an easy first down. He's just got to get it there.
Driver's 7th catch was a career high for the guy who, in his first 3 seasons, only caught 37 balls.
Really,
he has been the go-to guy today.
And has worked on his physique a lot. He reminds me a little bit of Robert Brooks, the old Packer that was so good here. And Donald Driver has really worked in the weight room, worked on the football field to make himself a better player, a more complete player.
Packers go with 2 tight ends. Favre scrambling. Gets rid of it. Out of bounds, incomplete. Pressure coming in by Patrick Kearney.
Got hammered by Patrick Kearney from behind there.
But Kearney and this Falcons defense is still playing hard.
Watch Brett try to buy some time here. Nobody open backside. He's looking for Donald Driver. Rolls out to his right. Kearney comes front side. Bam. Good hit. Clean hit. Well within the rules. That's another thing they're really going to try to clean up is the late hits on the quarterback this year in all phases of the game.
All on the 47-yard line, 2nd and 10. Three wide receivers for the Packers. Javon Walker comes in as the 3rd. They fake the handoff. Under pressure, John Dale Carney, the safety, coming on the blitz and gets the sack.
Yep. Comes on a safety blitz. Everybody covered out on the edge. Brett had absolutely nowhere to go with the football. Big play by Carty. Had him the whole way, too. A lot of times those safeties will come in, and you'll see him flash from over here on the left side. There he comes flashing in right there. A lot of times, those safeties, they aren't used to getting to the quarterback. They'll overrun him a lot. Good job there by Carty getting his hands on Brett and hanging on to get him down to the ground.
Just the 2nd time Favre's been sacked today. They lose 8 yards on the play.
Packers good in that area. Only gave up 22 sacks all year last year in 17 games.
They need to get to the Atlanta 43 to keep this drive going. Pass incomplete, intended for Terry Glenn, but he had 3 Falcons around him, and so it will be 3 and out for the Packers. Only the 2nd time all day that Green Bay has gone 3 and out.
Boy, and it looks like maybe Wade Phillips saved some stuff for last, kept a little gas in the tank in terms of his coverages because Brett had no idea where he was going with the football there and is actually real lucky that wasn't picked off by Ray Buchanan.
There's Jerron Bolden, who was slow to get up. maybe cramping a little bit. I don't know. He seems to think maybe it's a little bit more, though, the way he's hitting the ground. And, you know, this is the hottest opening day in the history of Green Bay. And so the players who aren't used to playing this long because of the preseason, they don't play that much. Many of them aren't used to playing day games because a lot of the preseason games are at night. So we will see. We'll check on the injury to Bolden.
Sworn enemies. Sworn enemies.
Congratulations! You launched the pink slip virus. Your office is now infected. They'll soon trace it back to you. Good luck finding a new job. Congratulations!
Want to get away? Log on and purchase by September 26th for Southwest Airlines $39 to $99 internet specials. Only at southwest.com.
Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader as the Rams visit the Denver Broncos, or it's the Saints and the Buccaneers. It's a full day of action on this opening Sunday here on Fox. Josh Bidwell on to punt. Allen Rossum, who as a Packer returned one 55 yards for a touchdown last year, but there's going to be a flag right by Bidwell, and a member of the Falcons is going to get in trouble.
That may be the long one, too. I think it was Travis Jerby. Yeah, it is. Travis Jerby.
Another former Packer.
Yep. Coming for the block and just lays out and takes out Josh Bidwell's knees. I'll be real surprised if this isn't a big one for a first down. You don't get Brett Favre another chance, believe me.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Number 36 defense. A 15-yard penalty and a first down.
No question. Just got the ball back in overtime after stopping them, and you commit a penalty like this?
Yeah, like I said, you don't give Brett Favre another opportunity. That's how a punter gets hurt right there. That was more than just a touch. Now, Jerby was laying out. Not a lot he could do once he committed himself, but you got to be smarter than that. When you hold Brett Favre to 3 and out in overtime and you force him to punt, you don't lay out like that in front of the punter.
And the ball will be spotted at the Atlanta 46 after the penalty on Jerby. And now Dan Reeves wants to talk to Ron Winter about that call.
And that's a bonehead mistake by Jerby. Now, I don't think – I think what Reeves is probably arguing is that he was laid out and got pushed into him by the blocker, but – you don't sell out and lay out in front of the punter like that unless you know you're going to get a piece of that football.
Well, and he's asking for a challenge, but you cannot challenge this because it's a judgment call by the official.
That's right.
So this call will stand no matter what.
Here's a look at it again. Jerby's already committed. He's off of his feet right there. Right there, Travis Jerby is off of his feet. He's committed. The ball is gone, and he just flies into Josh Bidwell.
All just needing a field goal to win it. Packers start at the 46 of Atlanta. Amon Green picks up 3 yards.
Boy, if you're Atlanta right now, what you're thinking about when you're tackling Amon Green is stripping that football loose. He's already put it down today.
He's put it down. Yep. He's had 2 officials fumbles.
That's right.
He's also hit the ground and had it bounce out near the goal line. So he has had trouble holding on to it.
Anything they can do to get a hat on the football, get an arm on the football, try to bat it out, get themselves a turnover, get the football back for their offense.
Green again. Nice job by Patrick Kearney.
Well played at the point of attack by Patrick Kearney. Just stuffed Mark Tauscher there. Had no chance. Stalemated him at the line of scrimmage. Shedded him. That's how you draw it up as a defensive line coach.
Look at the rushing yards for these two teams. Both up near the 200-yard mark. I don't think the defensive rankings against the run will be good for either squad after week 1. But as long as they come out with a victory, they won't get too concerned. Favre from the shotgun, needing the 36 for the first down. Green stops short. Keith Brooking made the tackle right at the 40-yard line immediately after Green caught the ball, and Brett Favre is staying on the field wanting them to go for it on 4th down, but Mike Sherman is sitting out the punting unit.
Take a look at Brooking right here. He's just going to drop back into his zone. Doesn't bite. Oh, he's got him on the whole way. Steps up. Bam. That's man coverage on the outside. Everybody was covered out on the flanks. It was Brett's only option was to kick it down there to the running back, and Brooking doing a good job, man up.
Packers had 1 3-and-out all day. They've had 2 here in overtime already. Bidwell back to punt. Rossum standing at his 10-yard line. Going to make the fair catch right at the 12-yard line, and Atlanta will take over from there, looking to get back to where they were, which was in the lead. Michael Vick on the touchdown run, and then Warwick Dunn as Atlanta came out scoring all kinds of ways to take the lead at halftime, 21-13, but the Packers came back in the second half, thanks in part to the arm of Brett Favre. And then it became a back-and-forth contest for a while. This touchdown gave the Packers the lead at 34-31. But Atlanta got a 52-yard field goal from Jay Feely to tie the game at 34 with 5 seconds left in regulation. And that is how we got to OT.
Now you're a little bit nervous. Stopped twice by the Atlanta Falcon defense. Mike Vick's got the football. Watch out.
From his 12. The pitch to Dunn. And the Packer defense sniffed that one out. Warwick Dunn picks up maybe 2 yards before being stopped by Nate Wayne.
Got Joe Johnson off his feet out there on the edge and allowed Warwick Dunn to get a little bit of a crease to pick up a yard or 2. Well played by the secondary coming over in pursuit.
Oh, with the heat today and this being an overtime game, and once again the first game of the season, you're seeing both teams beginning to labor just a little bit.
Steve Warren in the football game for the Green Bay Packers. He's in for Joe Johnson.
Finneran goes in motion. Packers showing blitz. Here comes the safety, Sharper. And that one almost intercepted by Nate Wayne.
Well, they baited Mike Vick right into that one. Nate Wayne saw it the whole way, and ball had a little too much heat on it. Just couldn't come up with it. See Nate Wayne here. Nate Wayne's over here, excuse me. Oh, he saw it the whole way. Knew Vic, that was Vic's read to go to, and just couldn't come up with the ball. That one will stick in his craw for the rest of the night, won't it?
Atlanta has to get it to the 22-yard line for the first down. From the shotgun. Bob Christian doesn't hold on. And so Atlanta will go 3 and out on its first possession of overtime. Packers will take over after the punt with what should be excellent field position.
Blanket coverage by Mike McKenzie there on Bob Christian. And that's probably had an idea of they were going to Bob Christian because he has made some key plays in this football game today.
They stopped Favre twice in overtime. Can they do it a third time? Chris Moore on to punt.
Stop.
Dangerous Darian Gordon calling for the fair catch right at the 40-yard line. Don't forget, next week Fox NFL Sunday returns. JB, Terry, and Howie welcome special guest John Elway. The future Hall of Famer talks about who are the elite quarterbacks in the game today and also breaks down next week's game. That's John Elway in studio on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, beginning at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We've got 9:30 on the overtime clock here, but we all know first team to put points on the board will leave with a record of 1-0. The other team 0-1. Green Bay starting at the 40-yard line. Mon Green. Keith Brooking with the tackle after a 4-yard pickup.
And if you're wondering what Green Bay is doing, running the football, that's what they want to do. I mean, they want to establish the running game to open up the passing game. Mike Sherman is a little different than Mike Holmgren in that regard.
Mike Sherman's watching this Falcon defense, which has played exceptionally well today, especially Keith Brooking.
Yep.
The middle linebacker for the Falcons has 14 tackles in this ball game.
Wow.
He averaged over 10 a game last year and making his first Pro Bowl. On the switch to the 3-4 doesn't seem to have hurt him. Play action. Ball off his back foot to Walker.
The rookie. Boy, what a precision route. He's got an ability to separate away from the defender there. He's in the slot, which is always your most productive receiver, and he's a rookie here. They're going to come off with a little rub type play, and look at him cut and separate right there. Ray just can't catch up. A little bit too late, and just a perfect strike from Brett.
18 yards on the reception, and this is a guy, you talk about mature. He's 23 years old, but he played minor league baseball for a while and shows a lot more maturity than most first-year players.
He's not afraid to go get it in traffic either.
Amon Green goes through traffic down to the 26-yard line. Gerald McBurrow stops him from behind, but you got to believe now after the 13-yard run that the Packers are suddenly in field goal distance.
In good position already. Everybody is going to influence inside. Cut off Amon Green, just a huge hole up inside there, and this is a guy that loves to run between the tackles. He'll get outside and run it. He's got that 4-4 type speed, 4-3 type speed to make it happen, but if he has his druthers, he wants to make it happen in between the tackles.
26 carries, 154 yards for Green. 27th carry. Not much going there. Let's see what's going on out in Los Angeles from JB.
Hey, Kurt, St. Louis and Denver. Brian Greasy doing his best to win the confidence of his team. Here, hooking up with who else? Rod Smith. That strike right there puts them on top. 7-yard touchdown score. And they're up by a touchdown. You will see this game following the conclusion of your contest. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Well, JB, the Packers trying to end it on this possession. They've got the ball at the 24-yard line. Amon Green takes a breather. Najee Davenport comes in to replace him. Davenport gets his first carry inside the 20.
Tell you something, you play in a game like this and you'll have your conditioning tested absolutely with it's not only the heat here in this part of the country up here in the Midwest, but the humidity. I mean, the air is so heavy and you get tired quick out there, and got a long football game, almost 10 minutes, almost 9 minutes into overtime.
Looking at the Green Bay field goal situation, Ryan Longwell 2 for 3 on the day. He's made them from 28 and 42, but he's also missed from 42 yards away. You know the Packers want to keep the ball on the right hash mark for him, the way he hooks it. Davenport going to be down close to that first down marker.
They expect him to be a good player here in Green Bay before it's all said and done. The rookie out of Miami, and this guy is an absolute load.
And here comes Longwell.
Remember, the first field goal today that he made was a situation where it was a bad snap by Rob Davis. Peterson was able to get the hold down, and Longwell was able to chip it through the uprights, but the snap will be absolutely key here with the timing of the kick.
And he missed his second from 42 yards away, and Atlanta will call a timeout to try and ice him. We saw the Packers do it at the end of regulation and had no effect whatsoever on Jay Feely. We'll see if this impacts Longwell.
Ryan Longwell,
you've got to figure the ball is pretty much where they want it, on the right side of the field, the way he hooks the ball, because the miss was from the left hash.
Yeah, this is a money shot for him. I mean, this is one that he should be able to do in his sleep.
We're going to get to Rams and Broncos and Saints and Buccaneers as soon as this one is done. But you know what? We've got a good one here. Let's not get anywhere just yet.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy this finish. 5:20 left in overtime, but it all will come down to this kick, at least for Green Bay right now, as the Packer faithful packing them in this renovated Lambeau Field. We're quiet for a long time, a lot of the fans, as the Falcons came out and just jumped all over the Packers. Had a lead of 21-10, but the Falcons dropped a couple of wide open touchdowns, and now we'll watch as Ryan Longwell attempts a 34-yarder to win it. High snap. It's put down and it's put through.
Oh, Doug Peterson, give that man a game ball for getting that hold down on time. Wow. Well, I guess if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, in your brand new stadium, which is still Lambeau Field, they've just done a tremendous job of refurbishing it. Doesn't work out any better than this.
And the Green Bay Packers come back to knock off the Atlanta Falcons 37-34 is the final in overtime. Packers 1-0 on the year. Atlanta falls to 0-1. For my partner, Tim Ryan, nice debut.
Thank you.
I'm Kurt Menefee saying thanks for joining us. The second half of our doubleheader coming up right after this on Fox.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the game of your choice. I'm Spencer Tillman here with you on NFL Sunday Ticket. I'll be back in 30 seconds with scores and updates from the early action and a rundown of the late kickoffs right after this.